Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, our regular school board meeting on February 9th. First item on the agenda is to approve, to approve the agenda. I know we do have one edit on here. We do have an additional hire tonight that Shelby Pierce is going to be hired on as the prom sponsor. And then we also have a resignation for Nicole Stover, high school associate. So with those two edits.
Make motion to approve the agenda with the additional hire of Shelby Pierce and resignation of Nicole Stover.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, next item is to open our public hearing for the 2026-2027 school board calendar. So can we get a motion to open the public hearing?
I move that we
Or
open.
we have to motion for that, I thought, don't we? Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead, Carl.
I move that we open the hearing for public comment.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we will open the meeting for public comment.
Anything on Zoom, Joe?
All right. No one's here necessarily for public comments, so
That's true. That's right.
yeah,
Yep,
they
sorry
do
about
have to
that.
actually
Yep.
be in person if they want to make
That's right.
comments. So
I will make the motion to close the hearing for public comment.
I'll second that.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will close the public hearing for the school calendar. All right, moving on to item 3, our consent items. Didn't see anything meaningful in the policies this month, truly. Read through. Any questions about any of the first reading of policies? Anybody had?
Lots of edits, but I thought
Yeah.
they were good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There is, if I could, I just want to highlight
Yeah, please.
2 resignations. I just want to thank Mr. Spearsloggy. He's going to be leaving our high school staff this year after a long career as a foreign language instructor, and those are some big shoes. He's been here for a long time and well respected by our students and our families, and so I just want to make sure he knows that we appreciate him, and sad to see him go, but also wish him well. I think I hear retirement's fun, so I think he's going to enjoy that. And then also Joe is going to be leaving us for some other opportunities, and just want to thank you, Joe, for everything, and massive shoes to fill. We appreciate what you've done.
Agree. Yeah, we could just take that one off the list.
I know, I
think
kept
we could
asking
decline
him.
that one. Is
Yeah.
that-
Yes.
You're still okay, Joe, if it's on the list? Darn it.
Do we have to let him out of his
That's right.
contract?
No, I agree. No, Joe, you've done an outstanding job with everything. We're really gonna miss you. The bills got approved. I think,
Yes,
Marcia,
Yep.
you saw those this month. This is your first month going through it.
yes. it
Everything went
is.
well, and
Yeah. Yep.
Any thoughts or kind of comments just after reviewing them? Just curious.
No, just an eye opener.
First time going through it is a little bit when you see where all the checks are going
Yep.
out and everything. So it's
Yep.
it is an eye opener.
interesting,
It
yeah.
is an interesting aspect of it. So. Okay. Any questions?
I move that we approve the consent items.
I will second
Okay.
that.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, item number 4, announcements and communications, comments from the public. And I don't see that we have anyone here to make comments, although I assume, do we have a student or is it from
No,
the
he's
press?
actually joining us, yep.
From
You
the
want to go
press?
ahead and
Awesome.
introduce yourself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Dials are, oh, cool, awesome. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here.
First day on the job.
Oh, like, this they threw you to the wolves on the first day? No comments for us, for our school board? Just kidding. Welcome. Thanks for being here. All right, we'll move on to item 4B, Friends of Music.
Yes, they just had their January meeting last Wednesday because it was rescheduled. So they are getting ready for the red carpet gala. They have some students singing the national anthem at girls state basketball, boys state basketball, and state track. So
Wow.
they're very excited for that. Also getting ready for the New York City trip. Lots of
Lots of
preparation
activities
for
going on
that. They had a fundraiser for with the prom dresses, and that went over really well. They were excited about that also. So
Good. Thanks, Marcia.
Yep.
Any questions? All right, move on to Athletic Booster Club.
Athletic Booster Club did not meet this month. They did meet briefly virtually to approve a reffing shirts for girls wrestling.
That's just to purchase them for?
Yep. Just
Oh,
purchase for, I believe the request came from Dale Meyer and
First
Bob
for when
Murphy.
he has refs come in and
Yep.
step in. Okay. For the youth tournament. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Good. Awesome. All right. Thanks. And then Academic Booster Club.
The Academic Booster Club will be meeting Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the Commons. So if anybody's interested, looking for help.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to item number 5, second reading of policies.
Yeah, and we had nothing
No
carrying
follow-ups
over
from
from
last
last
month. I
time.
didn't think we
Nope,
did.
nope.
I'll make motion to approve second reading of policies.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Move on to Administrator Director reports. Oh, Jen, I saw in your report, I know you had your update on your strategic plan. I don't know if you wanted to provide kind of an update on where you're at there.
Yeah. So we've been, we rolled out the mission and vision statement with the new logo. We've been working on that this fall, kind of using the survey data and things like that to come up with that. So that's solidly in process. I have a draft of just, we had talked about the 4 areas that we were thinking about for strategic plan. So started to put some things under those categories when we talk about resource management, employee excellence, student achievement and development. And so just piecing some things together this next month and a half or so, be just meeting with various teams and people, departments, trying to determine make sure that everybody's represented somewhere in the plan is my goal. And so just as we start sharing and thinking about how everybody can impact one or more of those areas, that work will start to come out. You'll see coming up here at the end of February, we're going to be working on some things to promote West Delaware. Public Schools Week is the last week in February, so we'll be rolling out the promotional video that we did. Some more information about our online programming for students will be coming out that month or that week as well. I see all of that as part of the strategic planning, just trying to market our district. Facilities is something that we've been looking at. I think I mentioned this last month, but that we are looking to do another evaluation of our facilities, not near as in depth as the one before construction. Now that we know all that stuff is done, it's kind of just figuring out what are our next steps.
Utilization of it more than anything. Okay.
Yep. So that's where we are now, and I feel like we're still on track to have a solid plan in place. One thing that came up today, my goal is to have the strategic plan, but then to have some sort of a once a year quick, like at a glance report. These are the highlights or the things. And so today I got the final copy of what we've been working on for this year. It just talks about our proficiency rates as a district, the extracurriculars that we offer students, what kind of courses we're offering and things like that. So that highlight, I just got that back from the Donovan group. The teachers and I gathered all the information and they kind of made it look nice. So I'll be bringing that to you guys probably next month as part of my scorecard, just to be able to see what that looks like. And eventually the goal will be to pull the key components out of the strategic plan and be able to represent that on the one-page yearly update. And just we're slim pickings. Rudy and Jacqueline are both sick today, so
It's going around.
tis the
isn't it?
season. Yes. Yep.
So last week of February is where you're going to send out the promotional videos.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the marketing of kind of the new mission and stuff started
It's in
getting
there.
out. Have you done much yet? Is that kind of your big splash of
It's
it?
in the video. We've updated the website. We're working on our letterhead. That's been a harder process than what I thought, to get that to look kind of the way we want it and to be techy enough to make things stay in alignment the way you want them
Yeah.
to look. So we'll be working through that. Teachers have seen it, but we haven't really started. I mean, we need to start now going through and
campaign
making sure and campaigning on it. And yeah, just making sure too, there's places that pop up. Just the other day, Brenda saw somewhere that had the old logo kind of still, so just replacing those things as we see them too.
Have you gotten much feedback on it? Just kind of curious if you've heard
Not a
much
lot.
yet of it. Okay.
No, not yet.
Well, I'll be interested when you use the end of February more as a big moment to kind of really push it out to everybody. So good. The other thing, I'm not sure if you guys click through the attachments in there. I did see there. I really liked your strategic planning dashboard.
Yeah,
It really shows different. It's kind of the ability to kind of assess where you are on each indicator that you've highlighted, and an ability to kind of talk about where we are in our journey, which I think is so important from a strategic planning process, is to assess what you're seeing in the the environment, and then assess where we are in our journey over time, and then the actions that we're taking, how they're starting to move us along that journey. I think that'd be great.
yeah.
I'm
We've
really
still got
excited
a little
to
bit of
see
work
this.
to do on that, but I think it's a good starting point.
I'm really excited where you're headed with it.
And when you guys look at that strategic plan, you can see I highlighted a couple things in green when you look under the success indicators. And so like the increased proficiency, the reduced achievement gaps, attendance, staff retention, positive staff climate, like those were things that jumped out to me as things that we can measure pretty easily. And so that's why when you see different text highlighted different colors, those were just
Those
things
were
I
your
was thinking
measurements.
about.
Okay.
Yeah, that I thought we could loop that into measurement. Those are kind of some
a great
tangible
idea.
things that.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have any questions for Jen?
Can you just mention briefly what the next couple of meetings look like budget-wise, and how it affects the community? Maybe the time, or is that later on?
No, that's a good idea.
You're good.
That's a
Yeah,
idea.
no, that's good. We've got our window opens, and Lynette is going to be probably panicking that I'm going to say the wrong thing here, but we've got our timelines coming up in March where we have to, if you remember right, we have to have the public hearing #1, and then there has to be a certain amount of time, and we have to hit deadlines for publication within that. And then we'll have a hearing #2 later on. So we will be at the next, our March meeting falls before any of those deadlines have to be. So we will, March 5th is when, Lynette, you can jump in if I'm messing up, but March 5th is when we have to communicate out, and then they get the letters, the county sends the letters out to our residents. And then,
I'm letting her hang here to see if she remembers all of this.
I know, I'm scrambling here. No, I
No,
know
you're
that.
good. March
Okay.
5th is when I have to have it submitted and completed online. I don't actually submit anything. The auditors will go in and pull the information from the budget system that we complete online. And then we are not allowed to hold our first public hearing until after March 20th. And so, and the reason is, if you remember the last 2 years, the auditor has to send out those letters. So by March 10th, the auditor has to pull our data that we have on there by the 5th, and then they have to send the letters out by the 10th. And so we will bring, or I will bring to you the budget presentation like we always do in the month of, for our regular March board meeting. And then from there, we will set our 2 public hearing dates. And it has to be completed, both dates have to be completed by April 30th. So we have a little bit of time in there between March 20th and April 30th, but it does require an extra board meeting, if you remember, an extra time. The last couple of years, we've done it in the morning, usually in the superintendent office.
And I think the way things time out, that special meeting will be our hearing #1, and then our second hearing will be our
The
April.
board meeting. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good question though, Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
Curious, either Lynette or Jen, I did see moving through the legislation right now, they're pushing for a 1.75 budget authorization increase. Just how does that play into our expectations for budget this year? Is that aligned with what we were expecting?
I mean, I can jump into, obviously, the more the better. For us to get off budget guarantee, we have to be closer to about 4.5, almost 5% for us to be off budget guarantee. So regardless of whether or not it's 1.75 or 2%, we're still going to be on a pretty hefty budget guarantee this year. And that will, show up in the budget presentation in March. And so when the governor recommends 2% and they're coming in at 1.75, knowing that there is, a substantial decrease in students statewide as well, it is kind of disheartening, to say the least.
Yep. Questions on other reports?
Joe, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about the Facebook or the YouTube views and what exactly we're seeing there? Is those the time limits on those, 3.5 minutes or whatever? Is that for the live views as well?
Yeah, it's just for anybody who is watching. It's the average of how long they watched the stream, and the live, like the number, like it's like 3 or 4 or 6.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. So the first number, then the 9 views while live, that means that's the total number of people.
Yeah, or it's also, it's hard to kind of read. It's either that or how many were like watching it once, and it like hops on and off. Like
Oh, okay.
Right
So
now,
it might not be all 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so like right now we have 18 views, 10 concurrent views.
Okay.
So it's like right now it's saying 10 people have kind of been watching at the same time, but they might drop off like during
3
that
might have come
time.
in
What's
and
that?
3
Three,
might-
yeah, during that time. So it's like it's the most people watching at once during a live, but it hops. People hop on and off, and on average, that's what the average time was. Is how long do people watch? But you could have some people that watch a lot. Like the last month's was shorter. You could have a lot. Some people watch. A couple people watch the whole thing, but if you have 50 people watch, pull it up and be like, oh, that's what that is, and like shut out. And the average goes way down.
Right, because there's only on there for a second.
So that's what's hard. You don't see like, oh, certain people watched it for 30 minutes, but majority of people watched it for 5 seconds. Like,
Well, it really shows
it just gives
not
you
very
an
many
average.
people are watching the live view. I guess that was my takeaway. Is that
Yeah, and that's what, just kind of looking at where we're going to have to be with upgrading equipment going forward, if that's the route we're going to go. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a, I don't know, catch-22, but I don't want to be dumping a bunch of money into something that's not used.
Yeah.
And I think that's fiscally responsible.
And that's why I got the quote from city,
The city
or
on
like
what they're
not
using.
quote. It's not official quote. It's just like
a benchmark?
that's what they set. It's what they pay for a set. That would be probably what you would want if you wanted something that was more like just set up. Like if you like their type of style, where it's 2 kind of cameras that just kind of like one would sit kind of there, one would sit over
and
here,
it finds
yeah,
whoever's
and then as
speaking.
people are talking, the camera moves to who's ever talking, and they save it and then upload it the next day. But you can also go live
Right.
like you do now, also while it's going on. So you would still need to get like someone would still have to do that part.
Yeah.
But the cameras themselves, that's how they would operate. Is like, yeah, you would just have basically one sitting up there, one sitting further back here, and then I think because those 4,000, they bought extra mics because some people were complaining.
I was going to say the audio is not very good whenever I
Yeah,
watch
so
those.
they had bought this time. Because I don't think they had spent that much previously.
Yeah.
So this time I think they had purchased extra mics,
Makes
and that's
sense.
why I think it was a little more expensive than what they previously have done.
Well, I think that comes into question. I appreciate you doing that, Joe. As I think that brings into question, based on these numbers, do we want to continue to live stream these events? I mean, it is a lot of work for our IT department and other aspects, and it logistically makes the meeting a little harder to hold sometimes when we're trying to accommodate audio, not just for in the room, but I also want to make sure, I don't think we're trying to make any change to lack transparency either. I mean,
Right.
that's not our intent
Right.
at all. I just don't think there's as much interest in it, and so it's a lot of work, and are we getting the payback for it? So
And with Joe leaving, it
Right. There's
throws
gonna
more.
create a
open
gap.
that up
It's
as
going to throw
well.
more on Gary, and
yeah.
Yeah.
When Facebook stopped, we would get some on there. You'd see it's something that's gone down over time. And I don't have Facebook data because they changed their whole thing where they started only keeping live data for like 30 days, and then deleting it. But over time, it's gotten less. It used to feel like you'd get, you could get 20 people maybe kind of watching at once.
Yeah.
Like Facebook or more, and you'd get some other stuff later. It all came around from COVID. I mean,
Right.
because it's the only way we could have meetings.
Well, that's what created. Yeah, that's what we
That's
started
why,
doing
yeah.
this is for that purpose.
Yeah.
So I think has it run its course, and I mean, when you look at these things at 3 people, 4 people, 3 people, I mean, that's a lot of work for 3 people's views. And if they want, I think we should ask them to come participate.
I think we can gauge whether or not we want to use video feed based on the people that are coming to the meeting.
Yeah.
If we have 10 or 15, there may be a lot of public interest. Or if we don't have many, there may not be much public interest, and I think
Right.
we may not need it.
Right. And that's the thing. It's just because we say we're not going to broadcast doesn't mean we never broadcast them. We can broadcast them if we feel like we're going to have something that we really want to get out there too.
Is there any requirement that we have to do it?
And we have to have an open meeting, so we have to have it in an open forum and allow free access, but there's no requirement that you
Well, I'm like
broadcast.
Luke, I'm not sure I want to spend any more money on something that there's no
Yeah.
benefit for.
Right.
I mean, it's not
we're pinching pennies anyway. We
right.
just-
I
With the
know.
budget the way it's going, it's something that isn't worth it.
Let's probably something then.
That's something we can sit
Let's
on.
put it on.
and,
Let's
yeah,
put it on the maybe
Well,
the agenda to come back and
Yeah, revisit this.
have an official
Yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
Could be
But
old
at least-
business. We could have some old business.
Well, that's some old business. That's exactly.
Thanks for pulling that data, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Your final act.
Hey, Matt, I did have a question about the high school report. When I was looking through, I really liked the goals and where you're.
Which Matt are you?
I said the high school. I said the high school Matt.
Oh, okay. Well,
I get the high school Matt. Yeah. That's the Matt table back there. I see. Yes. Yes.
Context
Yeah, you
clues.
gotta use your context clues on that. So I like where you're talking about all of the goals in here. So 2 things. One, I was curious as you're looking at each one of those metrics, kind of how are you tracking progress? Because at least the way I interpreted it is you have a goal and you can't really track that goal because it only scores once a year.
Right.
And so then you're tracking kind of those input metrics. Where are you kind of on those tracking of the input metrics is kind of one question. And then the area that I jump to that I love the most is what are you doing next to move the needle? I thought those are some great actions down there. I was really impressed.
Yeah,
with
so
what you got there.
their scorecards, they have all that data, like how many times they're, depending upon what group's meeting, like if it's attendance, they're checking in with students, if it's language arts, how many times they're doing those different little lessons to get them prepped for the ISAFs. So like they have those charts that they're tracking them and seeing like how they're doing. They're like kind of self-assessing on how they're doing and making progress and towards that overarching goal. That
So you've got charts that your teams are watching, tracking, feeling like you're. 'Cause
Yes.
What would be good is maybe in your description is give us the status. We're on target. We're tracking lower than what we want to be able to do, or we're ahead of where we thought that to me that context would help a
Okay.
little bit just to know how. I just want this allows you to give your context of where do you feel like you're on the journey? Where should our expectations be? Because you feel like we're doing everything we think we should be doing. This should give me a good outcome in the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just kind of curious on as you go through these,
Yeah.
just as we're evolving these reports.
Sure.
Because I think I saw that on the middle school one as well. Jackie had some of those metrics she put in, and then but it was almost like I struggled when I looked at those charts to know how should I feel about the chart?
Right.
I looked at it and I was like, well, is that good? Is that a bad? Are we on target? So a lot of this, I love the graphs being in there because that helped provide that next level down of context on it. But I was struggling a little bit with, so is this good or bad?
How to follow.
So a little bit, and what I don't want us to is to turn this into a verbose. You know, you guys don't have something simple. We're on target. Doing, this is there. So something just to,
Sure.
you could color code it or whatever we need to do, just to kind of help assess that. That would help me draw some conclusions. I felt like I had to do a lot of studying to figure out, and all I want is I want to get in your guys' heads.
Yeah,
how you're
sure.
feeling about it. So good.
All right.
On the Lambert one, I know Rudy's not here, but I saw the scores. So I don't know, Matt, if you can comment about the assessment scores that came out. That was another one I was trying to read the color, the waterfall color codes, and I was kind of like, are we pumped up and excited about this? Is this we're sustaining? Or I wanted a little, how should I feel about this?
Yeah, I would say overall, looking at, so when you're this one, you can go ahead and read straight across. When we look from fall to winter, you see there's some really good growth when you look at third grade. On the literacy side, with 47%, we're meeting
Jumping
in
up
the
to
fall.
67,
Jumping
that
up
was
to
huge,
67
yeah.
in the winter. That's a very nice gain out of that group. You see kindergarten stayed pretty steady, that 80 to 70. They had a dip there of 1%.
But yeah, no, that's
but
really
pretty
good,
consistent.
but at a high level.
Yep. And then, when you're at 80, that's, yep. And then that 57 to 69, overall, we're seeing, we at least saw gains. So you were looking at the far right, and that's where I wasn't sure. Sorry, yeah.
The other data on here was good contextual, but I wasn't sure. So that to me is a big deal, because that's really what we.
That's where my mind went, or
from the
right now
the
for
reading
today,
assessments that
that's
you've been
where
focused
I'm
on.
looking at, yeah.
Gotcha. That's helpful.
Yep. And he does have it. The waterfalls are there, but I feel like for the purposes we're looking at this year, based on this year,
It's really those you were looking at that short term, we're starting to see
Yeah.
that step up in
Yep,
those
that's
areas.
what
Okay,
we're
no, I agree
evaluating.
with that. That does help. Good.
I think that decrease in the ODRs,
That was
that's-
I'm just amazed, because if we have a lot of them, I think the community, they see that. I don't think they understand just what that means, a 60% decrease in the number of ODRs. That's really good.
I think that's, we've mentioned that to him a couple times. I feel like that's been a great broken record to keep hearing, is how
It
that's
is.
continued to sustain itself. That I'm wondering, is it possible to marketing that a little bit? It's almost like I don't want to say, hey, look, we've
We had
really
a lot
trimmed
of them,
down
but no.
this. So but I want to do it in the right way, but a way to really talk about, hey, we've seen a really change in our ability to.
Because I
manage
do think that
behaviors
was a
through the building.
perception of Lambert at a certain point, was that
perception, yes.
behaviors were out of control, and that there were a lot of them. And I feel like, I see with my own eyes when I'm in and out of classrooms, I don't see behaviors occurring.
That's great.
I see if there might be teacher redirection once in a while, but it just isn't.
That happens at
It's
grade
not
school.
hijacking a classroom that I've seen this year, and I think that's. I do agree. Like, if there's some way to get that out there to try to help, because I think that perception's been out there in the past that Lambert has had some challenging behaviors, and I think they did, and they're working to try to get that ship on the other side.
Bottle it up, sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even just looking at not only the year over year, which is awesome, but look at the trend. We started the year at 35, and now we're doing half that, less than half that. that's even
Yeah.
awesome. That it's not only worked to start changing it, but it's even improving as they're getting better and better at it. So that was a huge perception issue. So I think that's outstanding performance. I'm really excited to see that, and excited to see what that translates into for them from an ability now to address the other areas and issues that they wanted to work on.
Well, and you have to think that it's going to, with the outcomes that we were just talking about with
Yes.
screening data, those things when kids are in the room,
Yeah.
taking in the instruction,
Yeah.
that
and
can only
not
help.
in a disrupted classroom,
Right.
because there
Yes.
are a lot
Yeah.
of positives that can come out of that.
Yeah.
So Gary, you got power back on to the old. We got everything fixed and figured out on the fun power outage situation.
No. So we were able to get temporary power basically by utilizing the lines. There were 6 lines, 2 of them were bad. So we connected the 4 and we were just using that power. Turns out that's more than enough power to run welding and everything. So we are functioning at 100% right now, but I still want to
But you're not
replace.
using that line anymore right now, but it needs to be replaced.
No, there's the two lines that
Right.
went bad. No,
They're done.
we're just
Yeah, they're dead.
they're there, but we're not utilizing them. So, but I still want to run a new service line from the north side there by the weight room. We have plenty of power there. We're waiting on a disconnect basically that's on order. That'll be it. It won't cost us. I mean, it'll cost us some money, and I don't have a quote in front of me yet, but then we won't have to worry about this underneath because all those 6 lines are 40 years old.
So you won't use them anymore. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just abandon them.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for figuring that out. That was an interesting day.
Oh, that
I'm
was
sure.
crazy, yeah.
Any other questions around the reports? Well, thanks for the administration, just the continued focus on this 4DX stuff and not only driving it down in the buildings level and the teacher level. I see that you're starting to push it down at the student level and all of that stuff. I'm excited to see the progress here. Great. All right, we'll go move on to item 8, new business, the school calendar.
Yeah, we have a draft of the calendar for you tonight. We've taken, Matt O'Loughlin has spearheaded this work and really taken a lot of feedback from staff. And, there's some things we don't have control over, but there are some things that we can take their feedback in. And so you'll see the finished product here. We start on a Monday again, which is similar to last year.
And that's still by state regulations.
Still by
is that
state
right?
regulations. Yep, the earliest we can start is the 23rd. And since that's a Sunday, we can start the Monday after. So we'll do that, jump in with a full week. We will have an early out that first Wednesday. If you remember this past year, we did not. This year, we're going to go ahead and do that. You can see the end of our quarters. We try, with feedback from the teachers, they really want to try to keep the terms balanced as far as days. We do the best we can there. There's some things that if you do that, another domino falls. So if they don't want that domino to fall, they have to be okay with a little imbalance. And so we've worked through those conversations. You'll see winter break is in there, not quite 2 weeks this year, but there's with Wednesday or with Christmas falling later in the week, we're going to come to school that Monday, Tuesday, do an early out on that Tuesday, and then have a teacher work day when we come before we bring kids back. So I'll give them some time to, the hope behind that, honestly, from our administrative standpoint is that teachers then can actually enjoy their break. And so, when we come back and students are with us right away that first day back, they're doing something over break to get ready for that day. So this is hopefully gives them time to actually unplug. Another thing you'll notice too, we had some hours in the bank that allowed us to take that Tuesday of after Easter. So we'll have a nice Easter break there around with Friday off and then Monday, or the weekend and then Monday, Tuesday. So they've got a nice break there in March before they hit the home stretch. And the one other important thing I want to pull out is graduation will be a little bit different next year due to when on Memorial Day falls. And if we followed our same path that we have in the past, we would be looking at June possibly for our date, but we're going to.
We usually pushed it.
It was the week after Memorial Day.
So that would have pushed it really late.
Yeah, yep. So in order to avoid going really late and doing it on a holiday weekend, we are going to do Sunday, May 23rd. We'll have a 2:00 start for that so that people have time for their religious commitments in the morning on Sunday with family and things like that. And then that Sunday afternoon, we'll hold our graduation ceremony. And that's, we've talked to other districts and that's not an uncommon practice that they would have those on Sundays. So that's a nutshell highlights of the calendar.
Good.
Matt, is there anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I think the teachers, like you said, the teachers appreciate that day coming back from the holiday break as well. So that's a good time to, like you said, get back ready, finish out the second term there, and then, yeah.
Any questions? Good work. Thanks.
I move that we approve the 2026-2027 school calendar.
Second.
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye. All right, move on to item B, the travel requests for the football coaching clinic. This is the
It's an annual request from
annual
our
one that
coaching
they come
staff
in,
that
yeah,
they go
that they go to every year.
Yep, yep.
How was it?
It was good.
I know, they already attended.
If we don't approve it, can we do it again?
Oh, I didn't even. look at the
It was
date.
just last week.
I move that we approve the football clinic.
I
Football
will,
coaching clinic.
I will second that.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All
I will
right.
abstain.
You will abstain. That's probably a good idea. Okay. Move on to item 8C, the approval of the summer driver's ed fee at $375 for West Delaware students, $475 for non-West Delaware students.
Yep, and this is a yearly thing that we have to approve. There's no change in the fee for the upcoming year, so just keeping it the same and being able to offer that to our students.
That's great.
I move to approve the summer 2026 driver's education fee.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and item 8D, the approval of the contract for the red roof for the New York City music trip.
Yep, just similar to
This is
the
their
other
hotel.
requests. It just flows through us, but their money.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Red Roof for the New York City music trip.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, move on to item 9. Any final comments from the public? All right, I think we'll move on. Item 10 is just our future board meeting or agenda session. So I think, Marcia, you're in next on March 6th.
Yep.
We're ahead of our March 9th meeting.
Creeps up fast.
It always
It
creeps
does,
up
I
fast.
know it.
So yeah, when we get into the March timeframe, we'll be starting budgeting sessions
Budget, yep.
and starting to work through some of that fun stuff for next year. So
Yeah.
the year goes fast. My goodness, we're already talking about
I know.
March.
It's that time of year where we start to question if we're in 26, 27, or 25, 26. Or like you
Yeah,
get kind
all of a
of
sudden you're
stuck in
into,
both worlds.
are we
but
planning for graduation before we know it? So
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Any other comments? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.